What's going on, everybody? It's your guy, Mr. House, and I'm here with War number 5 of season 28 with the Infinity Rangers. So this alliance war, we're going up against POU, Power of Unity, and this first fight on Path 5 is Ebb and Flow knockdown Ultron. Pretty simple fight, and Yellow Jacket takes care of this fight very, very easily. Forgot to turn off my notifications for this first fight, but this is a very, very easy fight. I turned them off there, so shouldn't be any more for the rest of the video. Simple thing here, just keep using heavy attacks, skip the slow. You get your knockdown charge, and you prevent his evade. Double whammy. Yellow Jacket's not the best option for this path, because his power sync gets purified, but he's still very usable. Firing off the SP3 here. Gonna hope to get as much power sync damage as I can before it gets shrugged. And it looks like I'm just gonna get one activation there. And because it gets purified, my stun gets purified, and I do take a couple hits to the face. And I must preface this war by saying this has been probably my worst war to date in my entire MCOC career. It was pretty bad. Very sloppy. That's how I would describe it. Very, very sloppy war. So this Ultron does go down. This is actually one of the easier fights of the war, and it really should be. It's not hard at all. And he's gonna go down right here. So not my best fight, not my worst fight. Just gonna deal with that one, heal up a little bit. Then we got Mordo. Mordo's not too bad. However, Yellow Jacket's heavy is a little hard to use against Mordo's evade, so you have to be very careful. As well, Mordo's power gain can be a huge pain. So I actually do get the heavy off here, which is very nice. And the fight's looking good from the start. And the main reason I picked Yellow Jacket for this fight, his energy resistance is off the charts. The only champion that exceeds him, but no other champion comes close, is Guardian. Besides that, those two champions are in their own ballpark. So I do take an SP3 here, however, I'm able to tank it very easily. Normally that would probably almost kill me, but not with Yellow Jacket. I'm going to throw an SP3 here in a minute, right now, and boom. Very unfortunate that he got an SP3, but it's not a big deal. Yellow Jacket's doing a lot of damage against this guy as well. Just trying to get him to use that. He does, so I do get one power sync activation, which is nice. And now I'm just gonna throw a heavy when he's parried, and very, very easy fight. Another one of the easier fights in the path. Throw an SP1 here, try and get the activations. And I would say on this path, I think the SP1 actually might be a lot more reliable than the SP3. But in most scenarios, you're gonna be using the SP3 with the Yellow Jacket. And he got 20,000 damage there, and he's dead. Not bad at all. Next fight up, we have Dragon Man. I really messed up on this fight. I was going to bring in Yellow Jacket. I didn't want to heal him for this fight. So then I thought Mephisto. Well, I did heal him, but for other fights, I didn't want to drain his health. Mephisto, not really a great option for this fight. And for some reason, I thought Sim Supreme is the best option here. And let me tell you, I was very, very wrong. For starters, Sim Supreme doesn't hit extremely hard, so he's relying on a lot of buffs from the opponent. And Dragon Man only has one buff. And also, on this node, there is Power Snap. Whenever Sim Supreme goes into a phase, he triggers a buff. That's going to get nullified. Dragon Man's going to gain power. Just not a good interaction whatsoever. very poor on my part to consider this as a good option. The only reliable thing I can do here is get rid of his power gain, but it does not help the fact that this is going to be like a 3.5 minute fight. I'm going to throw a lot of SP3s in this fight, mainly to keep my distance, but also to activate all my phases. He does get very close to SP3 there, but I do bait the SP2 out of him. And he's immune to bleed, so I'm a lot less effective than I want to be in this fight. I'm just going to spam some SP2s here, get as much damage off as I can, and hopefully kill him quicker. But really, it's not doing much. This is definitely a rank 3 Dragon Man, from what I can tell. And I do get a little misinput there, a little bit of lag. And, you know, I take some hits. Not a big deal. I paused here for a second. And this fight it's very difficult with Sim Supreme. This is definitely like a Doom or a Torch or even a Magic fight. It's not a Sim Supreme fight. And I could have done with the Yellow Jacket. I just didn't want to risk losing more health on him. Because as you will see, I actually do end up iteming out in this war. I take a lot of fights and I do not play very, very well. So I guess I was pretty cost effective using Sim Supreme here. He's about halfway down at this point. Sim Supreme is just doing his best here. He's already down to half health, my character, so that's not good. But it's not looking bad. As long as he keeps throwing his special, it shouldn't be a problem. But I definitely won't be able to deal with a Dragon Man SP3. That will probably either kill me or the after effects of it will kill me. One thing I have to keep in mind in this fight is I do not want to armor break Dragon Man. That will get me degen, and I will die very, very quickly. Which also limits his damage output significantly. Bleeds and armor breaks is where his damage comes from. So not having either of those just really diminishes Sim Supreme in this fight. Thankfully I am perfect blocking the SP2. And here I do throw the SP2 and I get 3 armor breaks like an absolute dumbass. But thankfully he's almost dead and these armor breaks are so potent that he dies. So stupid. So stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. And I opted to take Jabari Panther with Yellow Jacket. Probably the most stupid thing I could have done. In Yellow Jacket, Kit, he is able to slow skill champions even though he's not supposed to. So he is able to do this fight. However, because this has a mixed master fight. However, two problems with this fight, I would say. I didn't have the Wags pre-fight, which really would have helped me not get her into the hunt for a lot of the fight. And second of all, I didn't really know how she worked. I thought she was always in the hunt. I didn't realize that you could dex your specials. So I take way too much block damage here. This is a very doable fight with Yellow Jacket, surprisingly. And I do take a heavy to the face right there, and that I actually think that's the reason I died in this fight. I think I could have got this fight down if it wasn't for that heavy. That just drained my health a little too much. And I do throw an SP3 here. I'm doing the best I can. I actually do recover from this fight very, very well. But I obviously do not get it down. This is just not possible. Especially after taking that heavy. And those SP1s, right now, they're not too bad, but they will start hurting through the block. Especially when I can't get rid of her prowess. And that slow doesn't apply there. I'm not entirely sure why. I had a ton of nuclear charges. Kind of odd, but I just let that go. Focusing on staying alive, and she does go into the hunt, so she is stun immune at the moment. And I'm kind of screwed. I do play this rather well, though. And I am able to parry her right before I get cornered, which is awesome. Get the heavy off slower. I mean, it's looking doable. If my health wasn't so low, I could get this fight down easy at this point. Throwing another SP3 here. Our initial plan was to bring APOC for this fight, but honestly, that's not even a good option either. I'm not really sure, honestly, who the best option is here. I'm thinking maybe Professor X, Mutant Power Boost, and Wag's pre-fight could probably do this fight, but even then, it's risky. So I'm almost dead at this point. She did get a huge SP1 through my block. She's getting up her prowess. She's up to 3, 4, and I'm dead. Someone else does end up finishing that fight off, thankfully. I don't have to deal with it, but not a great start to the war for me. And here we got me going to a fight when I'm in a really bad mood after dying. Don't do this. Don't do this. It's not a good idea, and it's just going to get you killed. This is such an easy fight. Footloose, connect, transfer, and skulk. It's so easy for Yellow Jacket. And I completely butcher this fight. For starters, take the SP1 to the face. Didn't use an invulnerability boost. And like an absolute idiot, I get him to an SP3 and the fight's over. I'm dead. There's no way to recover. The fight is done. I do end up getting back into the group of things and getting him down after fully healing my Yellow Jacket. Again, adding to that item use, but I didn't include that in here because that's just too much content. The video's gonna be way too long at that point. And we got a Rhino. I did speed this fight up because it is a long fight. And this Rhino's AI absolutely screws me here. You saw at the beginning, I did make a mistake. But his AI is super passive aggressive in this fight. This is Evanflow Intercept Path 5 again. And I think this is going to be my path for the season, it looks like at the moment. But in terms of this fight, I mean, he's just playing really poorly. My health's looking not too bad at this point, but it does get really bad at one point. I get the Petrify on him, which is actually really nice for this fight. And I take a combo to the face. I don't even know how that happened. But it is very, very, very fast, so I won't say too much. Just, you know, an example of a not so good fight for Yellow Jacket, but he can definitely do it. Problem really was how I was playing, and the answer to that is not very well. Petrify on him, and he's pretty much toast at this point, but that was way too close for comfort. Not happy about that at all. And here we got a Nova. Evanflow Intercept, common placement on this node. Super easy fight. Any Mystic Champion, reliable, can do this as long as you can intercept. I should hope you can if you're in Tier 2 War. So that's about Sim Supreme. I'll be working with Mephisto, but I'm more comfortable intercepting with Sim Supreme anyways. And Mephisto does have a big fight at the end here. So I will say those are my only 2 deaths this war, which is nice. But they were just so poor. And the amount of chip damage I take in this war is absolutely horrendous. And I actually almost die in this fight. Well, not almost die, but I almost get in a really rough position there when he doesn't throw his SP2. I thought he was going to get SP3. That would have been very, very bad, but he does end up throwing the SP2. And now I'm in a really good position to throw my SP3. And he's pretty much toast at this point because the bleeds are going to start taking him down super quick with some Supreme. Boosted rank 3. He stands no chance in this fight. SP3 damage alone is nuts. Here I'm going to go after him, and he's just going to melt. He is so close to being dead. He's at 5%. He does have that protection on. So, just going to do a few more combos. I don't want to risk intercept. Just going to kill him normally. And he's dead. Next up, we got a Sasquatch. Someone else took this fight. They died very easily with Torch. Very unfortunate. Not really a great fight for Yellow Jacket. But it didn't seem that we had an option for this fight otherwise. So I opted to use him. And, you know, he actually didn't do too bad, I will say. He did not do too bad. But this alliance war, not just for our alliance, or not just for me, but for our alliance, was really not that good. At least RPG. And I am pretty much, I think I am itemed out at this point, so that's not good at all. I really have to get these fights down, otherwise we're kind of screwed. So, main thing to pay attention to this fight is I gotta intercept him when he's not unstoppable with his special attacks. But, I mean, I really shouldn't intercept him when he has power anyways, so it's not too bad. The main problem here is his regen, but thankfully I will reduce that as long as I don't use any heavy attacks throughout this fight. So I'm gonna get 3 power stings there, and yeah, he's really playing into me right now, and which is really awesome. Made the fight a lot more doable. I did get buried there, but didn't take much damage. I do get 2 hits there. You know, I'm just not playing very well in this war. You can tell. Throw an SP2, get the Petrify. And this is his regen phase, so this is a great time to use that. I do almost screw myself up here, but he does end up throwing the 2, thankfully. And heavy, another 2, perfect. Plays right into me. You know, I didn't play this fight super well, and I'm looking back at it. Not at all. But he's pretty much almost done at this point, thankfully. Because this was just pain. And he's gone. I would never take that fight again. Not a good interaction. And our last fight of the war, we got a Magneto on Rage. Now, what I will say about this fight is Sim Supreme is not a good option here. 2 reasons. Magneto takes 90% reduced bleed damage, and with this node return policy, anytime I stagger Magneto's buffs, he's going to gain a bunch of power. So, 2 reasons not to use Sim Supreme here. So, I ended up using Mephisto. The only fight I actually bring him in. I initially thought I was going to use Mephisto and Sim Supreme would be a synergy piece, but that changed, obviously. And this ended up being Mephisto's only fight of the war, which honestly is fine. This is a great interaction. It was a nice fight to end the war off on. Probably my best fight of the war, besides that Mordo. Supreme synergy is very, very important to play Mephisto. If you don't have that synergy, I don't think Mephisto is worth using unless you run Suicides with him, which is very risky. Very, very risky because he's not bleed immune. You'd have to run him with Purgatory, but I mean, if you're going to run him with Champion, just run him with Sin Supreme. And Purgatory is not good at all. He does go unblockable here, but he's at 1%. Easy. Done. And that's the end of the war, guys. We obviously lost. Terrible, terrible job. And I did get MVP. Don't deserve it. Don't know why I got it, but I did. So we'll be ending the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'm going to leave it off with a little message from Mr. House, because I think we got to reflect on the alliance wars that we do poorly on. And I think this call really fits that. So you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. Peace. See you in the next video.